Hey guys, it's Gail with Everything Nash here with the fantabulous Scotty Hasting. How are you, my friend?
I'm amazing. Thank you so much for having me.
Good to see you. We have so much to talk about, starting with your EP, I'm America, coming out soon. Give me all the details, why you wanted to do it, the stories behind the songs. Just talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, May 3rd coming out. I am, this EP is amazing because it's every single song, every single line of every single song in this EP is me. It's a part of my heart and my soul and what makes me who I am. And it was really important for me, being new and being who I am and what I'm trying to do with my music. It was really important for me to show everyone who I was initially. Just throw it out there. Here's who I am. This is what you get. And I love it. I love the fact that, I was, that I have been embraced by Black River Entertainment. And I love the fact that they gave me the freedom to be open and honest and vulnerable and just be able to throw my heart out there like this.
I love that. And I want to hear, I know a little bit about it, but I want to hear the story behind the song Runnin' because I know that has a really special meaning to you.
Yeah. So that song, I wrote it with a friend of mine. His name's Shannon Book. He's a veteran as well. And then we also wrote it with Doug Johnson, who's here at Black River. He's become my mentor. He's one of my greatest friends. And that song is the first song I ever learned how to finger pick. It's funny when you ask Doug. So I was just playing around. I have nerve damage in my right hand. I can only really move these two fingers. I can move my thumb and I can move this finger, and that's it. These three fingers just kind of live there. I have no feeling in my hand whatsoever. And so finger picking was something I thought I'd never be able to do. I thought that, that was an impossible thing because of the nerve damage and, the limited mobility in my hand. And I was just messing around and I started finger picking this song. And I immediately called Doug. It's funny, if you ask Doug, he's like, man, you would have thought Scotty had cured cancer. And in a way I did, in a way I was doing something in that moment that I thought was impossible, that I thought I'd never be able to do. So now, that song, although it's not about this, it represents victory for me because it's something that I never thought in a million years I'd ever be able to do. And and I love it. And I try to play it as much as possible because it's something that, because it's such a challenge, but also it's just incredible how it makes me feel. So yeah.
So let's talk about your nerve damage because you
Mhm.
were wounded in Afghanistan in 2011.
I was, yes.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you so much.
So you were wounded 12, 13 years ago
Mhm.
and then found music later. Give me that path.
Yeah, it's been crazy. So yeah, I got wounded April 21st, 2011. I was shot 10 times, 5 times in the shoulder, 4 times in the hip, and once in the thigh. And I should have died. I don't, and for the longest time I fought with, why am I here? What reason do I have to be here? Like, how is it that I made it here and other people didn't? And and so yeah, and I was trying to find something. I was trying to find, as soon as you get injured in the military, you kind of lose the competitive drive and the competitive nature that you thrive in the military. And and I was looking for something, and I was lucky enough to eventually find archery, and I shot archery within the U.S. Paralympic team for a long time. Technically, I'm still part of the U.S. Paralympic program, um, but um, but yeah, and that became my therapy. It was something that for 7 seconds before I released that arrow, nothing in the world matters. The PTSD, the depression, the anxiety, it all disappears. And I would live for those 7 seconds. And then COVID hit. And naturally, the world shut down, which means archery shut down, which means my therapy was gone. It was pulled from me. So, and when it gets quiet is when the demons knock the loudest, and COVID was real quiet. And I needed something. I needed something to get out of my head. I needed something to escape into. And I had a guitar in the corner of my room, and one day I was looking at it and I was like, I'm gonna learn how to play this thing. Like, I need my cup is about to overflow, and I need to just let it out. I need to find something that can pull me away from all the crap that I'm dealing with. And guitar was it. I truly deep dove into learning how to play the guitar. I jumped on YouTube and I started learning everything that I possibly could. I've watched thousands of videos on how to play a guitar. Um, just because I watched thousands of videos doesn't mean I'm a great guitar player, but I have watched a bunch of videos on it. Um, but yeah, and then I started learning, like the basic stuff, G, C, E minor, and D, which is pretty easily pretty basic. And then I realized that there are thousands of songs that just have G, C, E minor, and D in it. And I was like, well, I'm gonna start learning some songs. Like I grew up in the 90s, early 2000s country era where like it was like for me, that was the best time for country music. And I wanted to learn all of these country songs that I grew up listening to because I knew what they were supposed to sound like. So if it didn't sound the way it was supposed to, I knew I needed to change something. And so I started learning that, and in learning that and learning how to play the guitar became my therapy and my escape. And then one day I was sitting there just messing around on the guitar, and I was like, I wonder if I can write something. Like I have all these feelings and these thoughts, and I want to put them somewhere. And so I jumped on YouTube again and started learning how to write songs. And and that again became another form of therapy that I had. I was able to take all these thoughts and all these feelings that I was struggling with, and all these things that were just eating me alive. I was able to put them somewhere in words on something. So I was able to take them out of myself and put them somewhere, and it became such an incredible therapy for me. And then I was like, I had some buddies that were going to an open mic because Nashville was still shut down at this time, but the outskirts of Nashville were like, listen, we ain't gonna survive. Like we have to open up. Y'all just stay away from each other, And that was so they had an open mic night in Cookeville, Tennessee that I went to, and I went there and I jumped on stage and I played the first song I ever learned how to play, which should have been a Cowboy by Toby Keith. And
Had you
in
ever
that
sung
moment,
in public before?
I had sang in public before, yes, in like church and stuff like that.
Okay. Sorry, I'm
But
very invested in this story and I have to know
no,
all
no,
the
no, you're perfect. Yeah, so I had sang before in like church and stuff, but it was like in choir. So it was never like everyone focused on this guy. Um, so it was, I got on stage and and I played should have been a cowboy. And in that moment, I knew that this was something I had to do forever. Like it was that escape that I had found in archery and that escape that I had found in writing songs and playing the guitar was magnified 100 times. And I knew that I had to do everything in my power to get on stages so that I could be in that moment and I could be, have that little bit of peace, no matter how long it was. Um, and then, naturally the world started opening up again. Nashville started opening up again. And I heard from the grapevine from some of my friends that Nashville, when you play on Broadway, it's like 3 to 4 hours. And I was like, you're telling me 3 to 4 hours? I can have nothing but like peace and quiet and everything in my head just goes away for 3 to 4 hours a day. Heck yeah, I want to do this. So I went and walked up and down Broadway every single day and bugged the living crap out of the people that book the everything until they just let me on stage. And then, at one point in time, I was playing, 4 to 5 nights a week because I lived for those 3 to 4 hours a day where I could have nothing but peace and I could be in a moment. Because for someone who suffers from PTSD and depression and anxiety, it's so hard to be in a moment. Because you're everywhere else. With my PTSD, it's I'm always over there, or I'm all, and it's to be able to find something that can bring you back into one moment, just to be in that moment and enjoy that moment. It was such an incredible feeling and such a therapy for me that I wanted to do it all the time. So I did. I really did. And of course my throat hated me, my vocal cords hated me, because it was a lot, but but it was what I needed. It was more than what I needed, really. And then a weird chance coincidence, I met Michael Kerr, who is the son of the president and CEO of Black River Entertainment. And we were talking about music and my story a little bit, and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna send this to my dad and to Doug Johnson, who's the vice president of A&R at Black River. And I was like, yeah, cool, awesome. Like that, I never expected that to happen. And within 3 hours, I got a call from Doug Johnson. He said, hey, we need to meet. And I was like, right now? I'll come right now. I'll leave right now. I don't care. But yeah, and that was and I'm so incredibly blessed that now not only do I get to have that escape and that peace by being on stage like I was, but now I'm able to do it on such a larger scale. I'm able to affect other people and show them that there's things out there that you can do to help yourself. Um, and that has kind of become my new purpose, is to help people and to try to show them that you can be broken like I am and still be successful, and you can struggle and still go out there and do things that you love, and you can dream, and you can go out there and live your dreams. um and it's been such an amazing experience. It really has.
So now that we have found our help with PTSD, I don't want to say cure because I feel I've never had PTSD,
Oh
but
yeah.
what does this look like for you moving forward with your music? What does it look like?
Playing as many shows as possible, getting in front of as many people as possible, and putting out music that matters. I with my music, I want it to have a purpose. I want it to help people. From the very beginning here at Black River, I've told them I don't care about being famous. I don't care about making a buttload of money. All I want someone to hear my songs, and I want them to decide to put the gun down and try tomorrow, and then try tomorrow after that, and then try tomorrow after that. And then 5 or 10 years down the road, they look back at the moment that they decided to try life, and they look at everything that they have, and they are thankful that they didn't end it that day. That's all I've ever wanted. And if I can save someone's life, or if I can help somebody in some way, shape, or form, I've done more than I could have ever imagined doing in this industry.
Wow. Well, it's a pleasure to talk to you, my friend, and best of luck
My
to you.
pleasure.
And next time I want to do this in person so I can give you a big
Let's do that. Absolutely. That sounds
hug.
wonderful. Absolutely.
Scotty, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank
Best
you
of
so
luck to
much.
you.
Hmm?
Bye, friend.